why wouldn't they get paid? Interestingly, Polyphony Digital, they're a Japanese company, and in Japan, prize money in Japan is restricted to, I think, 1,000 yen. So you would need you either need a license, because this overseeing board was invented for eSports, and they would hand out licenses to players and games to run eSports tournaments and hand out prize money. So if you don't have one of those, you can't give out prize money, or you're limited to 1,000 yen, or you need a big sponsor to cover the cost, because they've got some really weird rules around. They consider it gambling and prize money with esports and all sorts of things. So, and this is a translated on the Japan Esports Union, the JESU. This is like I said, a translated page, but it gives you a bit of an example of what's going on in Japan. So this could be a reason why Polyphony doesn't actually have prize money. That's going to sound weird, but anyway, in a tournament hosted by game companies using their own game titles that are paid for, it is impossible to provide prizes exceeding 100,000 yen, there you go, without being restricted by the prize display law. Here comes it's translated. If the prize is provided as compensation for work, so if I was paid for turning up, that's different. But if it's a reward for winning the event, then it's restricted under the Japanese weird laws, the prize display law, as it was so translated. It is considered that the prize is not regulated if you're compensated for working up. However, before the establishment of the JESU, I'm going to call them, there was another major practical challenge. There was no specific way of thinking about when prizes in esports competitions would be recognized as job rewards, and there were no criteria. So there was a graph here, but it didn't translate, obviously, because it was a graph, not text. But if we go to their website, the website, this is the licenses that they hand out to sports. So it said here, in addition to eFootball Winning 11, JESU Powerful Pro Baseball, and Puyo Puyo eSports announced last December, we will announce 3 additional titles: Gran Turismo Sport, Pazdora, and Monster Strike. So it could be soon, maybe World Tour 2, that they will get money from the 3 titles: eFootball Winning 11, Gran Turismo Sport, and Puyo Puyo eSports held at National Professional Competition. Blah, 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 will be added, and a total of 6 titles will be implemented in 10 sections. So, and then GT Sport up again. So it could be possible that GT Sport will get a license in Japan to run competitions. So it could change soon. It could just be all heated up for nothing. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing, though. I think because GT Sport for Polyphony, because they're based in Japan, they're governed obviously by Japanese law. But you would think, see, it could work like this, right? So because they hold the competition in Australia, and then so Polyphony Digital go, we want to give the winner $10,000. So Polyphony only has an office, I'm assuming, in Japan. So because the money's coming from Japan to Australia, it would obviously get blocked before it got even into the country. So I'm assuming that's the reason, because I don't think Polyphony have any offices outside Japan. Let's have a look, actually. But it was the question I asked myself too, Max, was why are they limited? Because these events are, I'm not saying this is the reason. This is a theory I'm coming up with because I know they've got some really weird laws. Let's have a look. Hello, dog. Dog, come here. Sit down. Sit. 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 Stay. Guard. Alright, see you later. Polyphony. Alright. Oh, I remember them opening that office recently. The developer opened a second site in Fukuoka. Alright, so they've only got offices in Japan, I'd imagine. Oh no. Amsterdam, Netherlands, and LA and California. Alright, so I was wrong. Alright, I don't know. Because that sort of wrecks my theory, doesn't it? So the parent company... Who's the parent company of Polyphony Digital? Is it Sony? SIE Worldwide, here we go. They've got offices. Where do these guys have offices? In the US. I don't know. That sort of wrecks my any reason as to why. I just imagine that the money's coming from Japan would be the only reason. Like the money for that company's held in Japan. Because I imagine if they transferred money, there'd be taxes, there'd be, you know, all these sorts of things. Other companies, I don't know, money, finance is a funny thing. Colin saying, I suspect too that Polyphony hold the FIA license for those World Tour events. That too. But yeah, like in Japan, at least you need a license to, if you're a player, you need a license to make money from eSports or be considered professional. And you need a license to run and give out prize money too. So the game is getting one. At least that's how I read it. It was a weird translation. It could be a reason why they're not getting paid, but I don't know. Do you guys think they should be getting paid? Because, I mean, you got a watch. It was probably worth... How much was the watch worth? I was just looking for blue. But yeah, you're right. I think that is it. So it's worth almost $5,500. They get... That's all paid for. So that is one perk of going. It's all free. So that is sort of one side of it where I'm like, they don't pay a cent. They don't pay to go. I know with like other esports events, especially like Counter-Strike, Fortnite, if you want to go do some smaller esports events with money, you've got to pay for yourself. So there's pluses and there's negatives to this. At the moment, everything's paid for. They don't pay a cent to go. They're selected. They work it out. It's all paid for. Hopefully I can get in contact with some of the Australian guys and I might ask them and find out. But from what I understand, it's all paid for. Accommodation, eating, flights, everything. It's all free. So that it doesn't cost them a cent to go. So you sort of go, well, maybe we're asking a little bit too much for them. I don't know. Maybe if you win, maybe a small compensation, a little bit. I don't know though. It just it's a hard topic, especially when they're not paying at all. I do agree. That is sort of the other side of it where you're like, well, should they start paying to go to these events and then just win? I don't know. I really don't know. No, you're right. You're right, Chris, with the link. I thought it was someone posting spam. So if it's you, it's fine. But anyway, so Miyazono can at least sell his watch for $5,500. which is pretty cool. And then I'm guessing the manufacturer guys got a watch. Do they get one each? Surely. Do they only get one? Oh, did they really only get one? How do they figure out who takes it home? Oh, I hope they all got a bloody watch. It's like, yeah, now it's like paper, scissors, rock. Who gets the win? Anyway, that watch is worth $5,500 Australian. So anyway, that yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it, Ryan? It's a question of, do I go? Do I get the recognition, the ego boost, the cool trip? Maybe go to a country I've never seen before. You know, represent a manufacturer or my nation. It's a huge honor, I think, to go. And you're like, is winning just competing enough for me, or do I want something more out of it? I think eventually they'll get paid. At the moment, though, I think it's got to do something with the Japanese law. Maybe that's my take on it. If that isn't the case, who knows? We might see a big sponsor swoop in at some point and start offering to pay, because that's one way they can get around it, even in Japan. So if we do get a big sponsor that wants to pay, I know that we've got PlayStation, Michelin, and Toyota, and Tag Heuer giving out prizes only to the winner, though. But still, there's growth. So we could see some action on this soon. It blew up. Some people who have only just started watching the World Finals, because it's really big now. I've seen people from the Shadow Projects, the McLaren Fastest Gamer side of things. They started to get involved in GT Sport. They're like, oh wow, this is really cool. And they're like, what? They don't get paid? This is, you know. But anyway. Yeah, I sort of agree with you, Max, there for the time and effort. I think prize money would be the best option. Sim Sports at the moment, it could even come down to fact cheating. They don't know how to deal with cheating, because the Porsche Pro Series, when it started offering money in iRacing, the racing went to shit. And it was because people were doing anything they could to win money. But I think once, I don't know, it's just going to be one of those unnecessary evils that's going to happen. But I think they need to get paid. And if people are going to drive like shit to win money, then you disqualify them from being able to enter. As a organizer, you can do that. So yeah, there will probably be a teething period, I think, when money is introduced. So watch that space when that happens. I reckon when money is introduced to GT Sport events, watch the racing turn to crap. Hopefully not, but if it does, they'll clamp down on that activity pretty quickly, I'd imagine, and hopefully we can move on from here. Chris saying sort of new territory for GT Sport, so I guess they will grow and they will start introducing prize money, etc. I think they will too. I think the watch was the first step, because they're pretty expensive watches, so that's pretty cool. And they've just put out numbers that blow me away with the amount of people playing, amount of people watching this GT Sport. You ask anyone now, GT Sport, these World Tour events, they're pretty big business, and everybody seems to know what they are. So yeah, because they put on the best product of any esport out there, easily the best product. We just need to get them paid now, and I think we'll have everything sorted. All right. Well, that about wraps up all the news I had. There wasn't much news. This was the big topic, though. So thanks for having a chat about it. If you do have any opinions on it, feel free to message me on Twitter.